Storm Tracker 6. This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Another gorgeous day for us here in mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar continues to show dry conditions across the entire state, with nothing but sunshine currently in place this evening over mid-Michigan. Temperatures are beginning to cool down. Currently, we are sitting in the mid to upper 40s. We're at 47 degrees in Lansing and Mason, 49 for our current temperature in St. John's, already falling down into the mid 40s in places like Hillsdale and Coldwater. Notice cooler temperatures already beginning to move in from the north. Those cooler temperatures will begin to work their way south as we go throughout the next several hours here. Overnight tonight, we will stay dry with cloud cover increasing across the area. We will have a fairly chilly start to the day tomorrow with temperatures falling down into the upper 20s. But not to worry, there's more spring-like weather in the forecast, including a few more chances for precipitation. We'll explain all that and more coming up in just a bit. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
Some Michigan lawmakers want the U.S. Supreme Court to take another look at the case that allowed gay marriage and hand the decision back to the states. It's our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry Jones has the night off. 7 Republican representatives say the nation's highest court went too far when it overruled state law. But Democrats say they're going to fight to protect marriage equality. Our Nick Simon spoke with representatives on both sides of this issue. He's here for you now with their arguments.
Siobhan, in 2014, plaintiffs from Michigan and 3 other states brought the case to the Supreme Court, and the justices ruled that Michigan's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional. If that decision gets overturned, Michigan would revert back to its old laws, and it would immediately invalidate every same-sex marriage in the state.
Years ago, the United States Supreme Court redefined the sacred institution of marriage. This decision deprived children of a fundamental right to be born and raised by a mother and a father.
Representative Josh Shriver is one of the sponsors on the resolution, and he says his religious beliefs have been his biggest motivator.
Michigan Christians follow Christ's definition of marriage as a covenant between a man and a woman, an institution established to glorify God and produce children.
The representative says that the people of Michigan already decided that they don't want same-sex marriage during a 2004 ballot initiative. That wrote the ban into our state constitution, and they want the court to honor the will of the people.
Was this not just approved by a majority of Michigan voters? Is 2004 ancient history?
Democratic lawmakers say they're enraged by the proposal, and they're vowing to do everything they can to protect same-sex couples in the state. That includes Senator Jeremy Moss, the first openly gay member of the Michigan Senate.
It's a very challenging thing to have to hear that. To be continued to be called perverts and be maligned as a community when we're community members too. All they want to do is raise a family of their own and be left alone about it.
Around a dozen protesters also showed up to the Republicans' press conference to make their voices heard.
Love is love, hate won't win.
They say their marriage isn't hurting anyone.
We're Christians. We believe in principles of Jesus, but we also support others who have other faith. But when someone else's belief infringes on basic rights, that's when it goes too far.
Now, it's important to note that this is only a resolution and would take an act by the Supreme Court to overturn marriage equality federally. The resolution will need to make its way through committee before it gets a vote on the House floor. Back to you.
Nick, thank you. Governor Gretchen Whitmer weighed in on the issue on social media today. She says there's no way Michigan will turn back the clock on same-sex marriage after its proponents worked so hard for decades to make it a reality. She adds, quote, "It's not only the law of the land, it's non-negotiable."
We fought a long, hard fight to win marriage equality, and we will always protect our family, our friends, and neighbors from hateful attacks.
The governor says the issue is personal to her, like it is to so many people in Michigan. Stay with 6. We'll be following this controversial proposal as it develops. Well, we do have new information for you tonight after a police response shut down the Lake Lansing Meijer store late last night. East Lansing police tell 6 News officers were flagged down by a suspect and Meijer employees in the parking lot of the store. The suspect allegedly became aggressive and threatened officers. An attempt to arrest him failed and officers used a taser. Officials say the suspect claimed he had a bomb in his car, so K-9 units and the Michigan State Police bomb squad had to be called in. They say there were fireworks but no bombs in the car. The suspect is charged with felony resisting and obstructing police. A lieutenant with the Lansing Police Department is on administrative leave tonight over allegations of fraud. Ryan Wilcox is charged with 1 count of false pretenses with intent to defraud between $1,000 and $20,000. That's a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. The allegations came from within the Lansing Police Department, which launched an internal investigation and then referred the case for an external investigation by Michigan State Police. Wilcox was on paid leave until the charges were filed today and is now on unpaid leave. Details about the alleged fraud have not been released. Police in the city of Adrian have arrested a suspect in a stabbing that critically injured a woman on Sunday. It happened around noon on the 600 block of South Winter Street. That's north of Beecher Street in Adrian. The victim was taken to a hospital where we're told she is in critical but stable condition. Adrian police say they got a warrant for the suspect on Monday and arrested him at a home. He is charged with felonies, including assault with intent to murder. High school students in Michigan are doing better than ever in advanced placement or AP courses. And what's more, the increase includes a lot of diversity. Our Zach Priest has been working this story for you today. He's here for you now with those details. Zach?
It's not just the scores that are going up. So are the numbers of students actually taking the tests. AP participation is up 12% in Michigan over the last 2 years. And experts say that's helping more children than ever be better prepared for college and life beyond. Today, I took a closer look at the numbers. So let's take a look here. Over that 2-year period, AP participation went up 28% among Black students, 26% among Latino students, and a whopping 35% for economically disadvantaged youth. These groups were all historically underrepresented in AP courses previously. So 3s, 4s, and 5s are considered good AP test scores. And the last 2 years saw the number of students scoring in that range increase by 31%. The number of Black students scoring in this range rose by over 100%, while Latino students saw a 60% increase. Some experts say economically disadvantaged youth taking AP courses could even inspire their communities.
For students in those specific high schools or communities shows that you can live the dream. You can acquire or reach for those goals simply by having access to taking those expanded learning opportunities.
And the Michigan Department of Education also highlights other forms of rigorous high school education, such as dual enrollment, international baccalaureate programs, and early middle college. Back to you, Siobhan.
Thank you, Zach. A Michigan State University researcher is part of a team advocating for a new approach to preserving endangered species, trying to save multiple species at once. It's called assemblage-level conservation. The term was coined by Spartan postdoctoral researcher Michael Bielitz. He began looking for better ways to protect species from extinction while doing his graduate work focused on protecting a single species of butterfly. Instead, this new approach to conservation looks at how multiple species interact and respond to common factors like a changing climate and habitat loss. Bielitz and his team published a new perspective article calling for their colleagues to take a wider view of species conservation to make sure their efforts are more holistic and don't just focus on popular species.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Another beautiful day for us here in mid-Michigan. We did start off this morning with a couple of very light sprinkles across the area, but that activity quickly raced off to the east. And after that, not only were we able to dry things out, but we had a lot of sunshine throughout the day. Arguably, we were even better than yesterday. To recap, yesterday we only had 2 locations, Charlotte and Owasso, make it up to a high in the low 50s. Today, everyone saw highs in the mid to low 50s across the area. We made it up to 54 degrees over in Jackson and Hillsdale, 52 the high temperature in Mason and Charlotte, just a little bit cooler here in Lansing, but not by much, still with a high of 51 degrees. A beautiful sunset across the area this evening. Very hard to come by any significant source of cloud cover across the entire state. We're at 47 degrees in Lansing. Wind still on the breezier side of things, 15 miles per hour coming out of the west. Similar situation in Grand Ledge, nothing but sunshine in place. We had a peak wind gust of 21 miles per hour, reported earlier this morning. Our winds will continue to calm down as we go throughout the rest of the evening, and they will be incredibly light overnight tonight. As I mentioned, we started the day with a couple of light sprinkles, only 1/100 of an inch of precipitation actually falling into the rain gauge over in Jackson, so not much at all, with temperatures currently still at 47 degrees. Similar situation in Hillsdale, only a few 100ths of an inch of rain seen this morning. Temperatures currently at 46, with that peak wind gusts only at 22 miles per hour. Again, a lot of dry weather in place across the lower peninsula, but satellite and radar does show a very weak area of low pressure developing to our west, which will quickly race in, bringing us the chance for just a couple of sprinkles as we go throughout the day tomorrow. For tonight, we are still going to be smooth sailing. We'll hold on to dry conditions. Cloud cover will very slowly increase across the area, and we could have a couple of patches of fog developing across mid-Michigan as we start off our Wednesday. Precipitation will begin to move in right around 8 or 9 o'clock. We could very quickly start out with a mixture of rain and snow, but temperatures on Wednesday still going to be making it into the 40s, so we'll quickly transition over into scattered rain showers as we go throughout the rest of the day. As this system begins to exit to the east, it is going to be wrapping some cooler temperatures right back into the area. Those cooler temperatures won't be at the surface, they will be aloft. So even though on Thursday we have a high of 40 degrees, we still could see a couple of wet snowflakes mixing in with the rain showers as the secondary system moves in by Thursday afternoon. In terms of temperatures for tonight, still overall going to be fairly pleasant, especially compared to the average. Average overnight low 21. We will only drop down to a overnight low of 29 degrees tonight. Tomorrow still going to be fairly lovely, even though we do add in the chance for some rain. Temperatures yet again topping out in the low 40s. Similar situation on Thursday. Friday, our next completely dry day, a couple of peaks of sunshine, 46 degrees by then. We will cool things down over the weekend, and then next Tuesday, more rain showers with a high in the upper 40s. Another rain and snow mix possible next Wednesday, but again, highs in the mid 40s by then.
Yeah, a lot to enjoy. Nothing that we can't, get through. Yeah. It's pretty easy weather.
Yeah, in the whole 12-day forecast, we have 2 days at or below freezing.
Nice. All right, Kendall, thank you for delivering that good news. We do have more news